Rotating. It's a term you've probably heard before if you watch Hunt Showdown content creators on YouTube, have someone experienced that you play with use the term in a match, or maybe even heard a randoms teammate use it over VoIP. While the term itself may explain what the tactic is to a minimal extent, what can using rotations do for your gameplay, and how do you implement them properly? Good evening, or good day, it all depends, and welcome back to the Impossible Ironman channel. So what are rotations? The term comes from how you move across the map, typically in an arc away and around your target. This allows you to break line of sight, reset your position, and keep your opponents guessing as to where you'll strike from next. Let's address a frequent misconception about rotations, that they are only used by players at longer ranges. This simply isn't true. Even when you're up close and personal, you can run circles around your opponents to throw their game sense off. This doesn't necessarily have to be done over long distances, but can be accomplished using verticality as well. Breaking line of sight by unexpectedly dipping into the basement of a compound like pitching can make hunters uneasy about pursuing you, making it easier to attack again from any one of several exits the lair has. While your enemies are more likely to hear you when you try to change positions in close proximity, traits like Lightfoot can go a long way towards giving them as little information as possible.
Good hops.
Using rotations stems from the idea that you should change positions every time you shoot. Repeaking from the same piece of cover repeatedly is a death sentence. You're just asking to get headshot by someone with a rifle holding an angle.
Oh, they crack peeked me.
Even going for a quick swap or follow-up shot can be dangerous. I've lost count of how many times I've missed a shot, or at least didn't kill on the first hit, and instantly been domed in response. Also, the longer you stay in one spot, the more likely you are to get flanked or stuck in a pincer attack. Exceptions to this rule are few and far between, with niche situations like trying to hold a high ground position against a bomb lance player. There are some key factors to keep in mind when going for a rotation. The most important being teams other than the one you are rotating around. Ask yourself, where did you hear shots come from last? Is it a double boss map? You don't want to accidentally sandwich yourself in between your target and another approaching team. If need be, consider moving around across multiple compounds in order to get behind another attacking team and catch them in the crossfire. Be careful doing this though, as a team you put in this situation will probably be willing to let the objective get away in order to chase you or your team down. So be sure to quickly change positions again before the other team can rally against you. Consider using a stalker beetle here before rotating to see if there are other teams silently holding angles in the bushes. Help you to avoid a rather awkward confrontation.
What the hell, people? Oh, fuck.
Oh god.
I'm probably dead here. Where did you people come from?
Another important aspect to consider is the position of your main target. Can you keep tabs on them when you rotate? If it's a bounty team, will they simply run away the moment you go to reposition? For example, you may not want to rotate away from the nearest extraction a compound has to the opposite side if it means a bounty team will escape. Keep changing positions, but ensure that you're close enough to the extraction that you can cut off a team that tries to run. There's a line to balance between how much information you have on your opponent and how much information they have on you. This is something you'll learn to balance as you get used to using rotations. If you're the type to bring traps, consider using them to block off a potential escape route in the direction you're rotating away from. That way, you have a chance to close the gap should your targets try running away from you and end up hitting one of the traps. If you get pushed or unexpectedly run into another team while rotating, there are some tactics you can use to reset the situation. Throwables will be your best friend here. Something like a dynamite or a frag will help you gain distance from your pursuers, or at least reposition to a spot where your location is no longer known. Decoy fuses can accomplish a similar effect, but choke bombs are also extremely effective here. Placing a choke cloud or two between yourself and your opponents can help break line of sight, mask the sound of your footsteps, and make other hunters consider whether or not they want to suffer the aim penalty from pushing through it. Using bleed or incendiary rounds on one or both of your weapon options can also stop a push in its tracks should you manage to inflict a status effect while kiting. While constantly changing positions can be a lot to think about, I can attribute most of my deaths in Hunt to staying in one position for too long, thus giving my enemies too much information and giving them time to strategize against me. Using rotations can also help you balance the odds against hunters with solid aim. After all, if they are never aiming at the correct spot, they're gonna struggle. My aim is mediocre, personally, but controlling the information my opponents have on me has allowed me to pull out victories against opponents with much better mechanical skill.
To your left. Nice.
That's what I'm talking about, baby!
If you found this episode and or series to be helpful, I would really appreciate it if you subscribed while you're here, as well as hitting the like, as it helps the channel immensely. Also, if you have any questions or suggestions about the series, feel free to stop by on my live stream right here on the channel, where I am live Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday at 8 p.m. MST. I have some more Players Won't Teach It guides on the way, as well as some other fun gameplay clips, and also another episode of my Google Plays Baldur's Gate 3 series for those who are interested in that. Until next time, though, good hunting in the bayou, everyone, and I'll see you all on the next one.